Good evening and welcome to another episode of Sip and Chat. First of all, happy International Women's Day. This is for all the queens all over the world. You are worth it. You will forever be worth it. And don't let anybody dim your light because you were born to shine. I'm very excited to be here today because the woman I have here today is someone a lot of us look up to, a lot of us follow, a lot of us are impressed with what she does, and a lot of us are using her voice as a compass. And I'm very, very excited to have her here with me, especially on a day like this. Welcome to Sip and Chat, Jaha.
Thank you, Fanta. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited about this. And happy International Women's Day to everyone that is watching. Mm-hmm. All women are worthy. Absolutely. Regardless of where we are, what we do, we are all worthy. And this is a day that we celebrate every single woman.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Wherever you are, whoever you are, what you do, you are celebrated, you are loved, your voice matters.
Absolutely.
I think this is all we always want women to know.
Absolutely.
Firstly, thank you so very much to AfriCell Gambia Limited for being the main sponsors of Sip and Chat. Truly grateful, appreciative of the support. And also to Mina J Boutique for this beautiful, beautiful dress. I really, really love it because this is very much up my alley. You know, and it has the pink undertone because, you know, it's Women's Month.
I actually really like it.
You do?
I will get one.
Please,
I like it. So Mina J should make me one.
Definitely. Mina J. Definitely love this. And I love how her pieces are very contemporary African pieces. And you should visit the store. Very nice.
Absolutely.
But yeah, thank you so very much to Mina J and Wax Media. We are here to have an incredible chat with the one and only incomparable Jaha Dukureh. Jaha, welcome. This is Sip and Chat. I mean, you already know.
Yes.
So just briefly tell the people who you are and, you know, we can delve into it.
So my name is Jaha Dukureh. I am originally from Gambisara. I'm a Sarahule. And, you know, I grew up partially in the US. I moved there when I was 15 years old. I'm a businesswoman. I'm an activist. I am also a consultant. And, you know, I'm a mother, first and foremost.
Yes.
That's my biggest and the job that I'm proud of the most. And, yeah, so that's, I guess we'll get into more details about who I am. But in a nutshell, that's
who you are.
That's who I am.
And I love the fact that, you know, just looking at you as you go through life, how you champion being a mom. It's like every time my greatest blessings, and I'm just like, wow, like I cannot wait to be a mom. Look at how Jaha does it. You know, it's actually so inspiring to see. And you saying that is the best job for you outside of everything else that you do. And you have achieved a lot.
Well, we try. I mean, I think my children saved my life. If I didn't have kids, you know, at such a young age, like right now, I feel like they have zero respect for me. They think I'm their mate. You know, someone saw us the other day and they asked my son if that's your mother. And he's like, no, that's my little sister. And it's fun, you know, at the end of the day, you think about it. I think that's every mother's dream. Yeah. And as I watch them grow, now I'm scared. And I'm like, gosh, they're getting too old and they'll start leaving my house. And what would I do? And yeah, so it's, I love being a mother.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. You know, quickly just to get into it, Jaha Dukureh, your name has been making headlines for more than a decade now. Yeah. And, you know, one thing though, I feel like, especially within the Gambian community that you have kind of championed is activism. Yeah. Just walk us through that.
So in 2013, I founded an organization called Safe Hands for Girls. Okay. And the work that we do at Safe Hands for Girls focuses on ending female genital mutilation, child marriage, and uplifting women out of poverty. But what we are known for globally is the work that we've done on ending FGM. As a Sarahule girl, I went through FGM myself when I was 1 week old, and I became a child bride twice in my life. The first time I was 15, and then the second time I was 17. So because of that, these are issues that are very, very personal to me. And for me, it's not so much about protecting my daughter from going through these harmful practices that I've been through, but it's about the 200 million girls around the world who are alive today and have been through FGM. And more than 600 million girls have been married off before they were 18. And what we fail to realize is the fact that children cannot consent to sex. Yeah. And when you force a girl to get married, you've given someone the right to rape them over and over again. So for me, I always remind people that this is not a career for me. It's about our future as a continent. It's about my people. It's about my daughter, my sisters, my mother, my aunties. This is about the women that I love,
Yeah.
the communities that I care about.
Yeah. And just when you talk about that now, especially in this climate right now where we're at, I feel like there's so much to delve into. And you've touched on being a child bride twice, which I feel like is crazy, but we would definitely, maneuver our way through in that conversation. But right now in the climate, there's a lot happening,
Yes.
especially when it comes to FGM. Right now, there is a bill that they're trying to reverse, if I'm correct.
Yes.
And, from what people, from the outsiders, what it looks like is, Jaha is at war with the Islamic community, or Jaha is at war with Imam Fati, because Jaha is fighting for the fight against FGM, whereas Imam Fati or the other religious leaders are for it. Can you just explain to us what's happening and what that's been like? Because I know initially there was a little bit of a rift, but then I've also seen that there is a reconciliation between you and Imam Fati. Just walk us through that, please.
So, Fanta, I'm a daughter of an imam. Anyone that knows where I come from in the Gambia knows that my father's house has a mosque in it. I am not against Islam. If anything, I love this deen more than anything else. And I am personally against FGM, but Imam Fati is entitled to his opinion.
Absolutely.
And I think we cannot achieve the goal that we want without respect, without looking at these issues from a place of empathy. My mother put me through FGM. My father put me through FGM because they believed that they were doing the right thing for me. It doesn't make them evil.
Yes.
So when I look at people like Imam Fati, I don't condone a lot of the statements that he has said and the way he is going about this, because for example, when Imam Fati first started coming out and talking about this, he organized similar things to what we call a town hall. And in every community that he goes to, he blamed me for being responsible for he calls me by my name and said it was because of me. But when I came and when I realized that they were presenting this bill, Sid Jow and I went to his house. Because for me, my role in this, and like I said, this is not a career. I do this because I care about it, not because anyone is paying me to say it or do. When we went to his house, we had a conversation with him. And what Imam is pissed at is the fact that a lot of us that are in this movement, we are insulting them and we are calling them names, and they believe that we are trying to push our views on everyone. Gambia is a democracy. But not only is Gambia a democracy, the thing that all of us have to remember is when this law was passed, I was one of the people that championed that.
Yes.
But we had a dictator as a president. And the law came as a top-down approach. And I think where we failed as anti-FGM activists, including myself, is the fact that we didn't spend as much time in the communities educating people about why this is right for them. And I blame myself every single day for that. But I think with people like Imam Fati, because right now, if I come to you, Fanta, and I tell you that FGM is wrong, you already know that. So I'm preaching to the choir. Yeah. And I refuse to work like that. It's the people like Imam Fati that we need to have conversations with. Absolutely. And get them to understand where we're coming from. Because one of the biggest problems with these religious leaders is they claim that Gambia doesn't practice female genital mutilation, and they practice what they call circumcision. In my last conversation with Imam Fati, I asked him what that means. And he said it does not include the removal of any sexual organs. And that it's something that is very similar, but regardless of how,
the technicalities of what they're
explaining, I went through FGM and my organs were cut off. And a lot of the girls that I talked to in this country, Absolutely. They had either their entire clitoris cut off or something even more than that. Yeah. So for me, I think my biggest issue with the religious community that's advocating for FGM is the fact that it's a lot of men that don't necessarily know what is happening to these women, that don't necessarily know what the impact of these issues are. I remember I was in the National Assembly on the day that they presented this bill. And I had a conversation with one National Assembly member, and he said, Gambia doesn't have FGM. We have, what we do is not FGM. And I told him, if you want, I can strip off and show you. Like, because that's how annoyed I am with them denying what we are telling them as survivors. If I didn't go through FGM, then they have every right to tell me that I'm lying. But the fact that I have been through FGM, I know what this practice means. And you standing there as a man and telling me that this is not true. You're doing this because you're brainwashed by the West. You're doing this because the West is giving you money. Everyone that is watching this, from the UN in the Gambia to the World Bank to all these international, none of them can come out and say that they've ever given me a penny for me to come out and say that FGM is wrong. When I got married as a 15-year-old, I'm a Sarahule girl and I was sealed. I couldn't have sex until they took that seal away. What do you call that? Is that a humane practice?
No.
So for me, right now, I think national dialogue is necessary. Absolutely. Between us as civil society and the imams and the religious leaders. Because I personally believe that we can meet each other somewhere in the middle. I will never condone the practice of female genital mutilation. But I also do believe that people have a right to express their grievances. People have a right to express that they don't want this law. When the Afrobarometer study happened in this country, more than 60% of Gambians said that they didn't want this law. How do we convert those 60% to meet us where we want them to meet us? So for me, same way I'm talking to you, I'm urging every single person for us to bring everyone together and have some of these difficult conversations that we are avoiding. This is not about the UN. This is not about any international donor country. But this is about Gambia. This is about our people. This is about our daughters. This is about our mother. And this is about our future.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, because for me, I feel like when the conversation about FGM comes up, my only question, I always ask this question. I even said it yesterday to my mom. She looked at me and said, you better not say that. But for me, the only question I ask is, if the person talking about FGM, you do not have the private part of a woman, I don't feel like this is a conversation for you.
I totally agree.
This is my take on it.
I personally think that men should stay out of our vaginas.
Absolutely. I absolutely feel that.
I'm sorry, like today,
it sounds that
it's been a hard day today.
Yeah.
Like I've been up since early, but men, especially Gambian men, should stay out of women's private spots.
This is my take on it. This has always been my take on it. If you don't have a female private part, this is not your chat. And you cannot tell a female, it's like you're telling a pregnant lady, oh no, you're telling me labor is painful, but you've never experienced labor. You've never experienced labor, but you're telling me labor is not painful.
Exactly.
So to me, that's what it sounds like. And every time there's a conversation about FGM, you as a woman would get aggravated, because it's like, why are the laws being passed by people that it is not affected?
Exactly. I mean, not only that, right? But you realize, like, when I look at the reason why I don't go on Facebook or Twitter to look at a lot of the stuff is people don't realize that, this is very personal, and I'm very close to both of these issues.
Yeah.
Like a few days ago, I saw a statement that Imam Fati made and saying that, if this law is not repealed, they would go and marry off their 13-year-old daughters.
What?
And I think that triggered me even more than them trying to repeal the FGM law, because I look at my daughter Khadija, she's about to turn 14, right? And I cannot imagine anyone putting Khadija through something like that. I have sisters that were married off at the age of 13. I have sisters that were married off at the age of 14. But issues relating to child marriage, they're bigger than just the violence that's involved in it. It's more about the economic opportunities that women miss out on. Because if a woman doesn't go through school, how can she contribute in a meaningful way to her country's economy? So for us, everything that we do, people need to understand that it's for our communities.
And the empowerment of women.
Exactly.
Absolutely. The empowerment of women.
Exactly.
So there was this rumor or conversation that there was a big fight between you and Imam Fati, and then there was a reconciliation. At this reconciliation, I know that happened, you mentioned that. At this reconciliation, what was the conversation? Because it still looks like from the outside that, they've reconciled, but there's still like some sort of fight going on.
I mean, no, Imam Fati and I never actually really had a fight. We were on opposite ends when it comes to this issue. But it was never, he was out there and he was, constantly name dropping me and saying that I did this, I did that. And when I heard about this bill, and I knew he was the person championing this. For me, I felt that I had a moral responsibility to sit down with this man and hear him out at least. So I went to his house, I bought kola nuts, I went with Said, and we sat down with him, and I explained to him my position, and he also explained to me his position. You know, I have a mosque opening that's coming up on Friday, and I invited him to attend. He did say that he would try to attend, and I'm hoping that he would attend. Okay. Because at the end of the day, Fanta, what we all need to realize is that we're all Gambians. The Gambia dafa xat torop. How man understand?
Yep.
Man suma la laalee tay, am na fu ma laalee suma mboka.
Yep.
So ma laalee tay,
am
na fu ma laalee sa mboka. Te loo xamantene dafa continue di indi haajaloo, ñii di wax fii, ñii di wax fii. At the end of the day, kañ lañ nekk di dimbale, because law bi suñ ko reappeler, right? Xale yu ñoo put through FGM, right? Ak xale yoo xamantene xëj na dinañ si loru o dinañ si dee o dara dina leen jot. ñooñu seen life lañ nekk di foyee right now.
Collateral damage.
Man, it doesn't impact me because man suma doom kenn dofut nga xarafal ko. How man understand?
Yeah.
Man suma family is safe from it. But it's those girls out there.
Yeah.
And if we cannot talk to them, talk to their families, waruñ fee talk di name call people, calling them ignorant, calling them this, calling them that, calling Imam Fati sa si boppam wan na ma ne the way the activism is happening, lolu moko merlo. Imam Fati wan na ma lolu. So, and I don't think anyone should disrespect him.
So it's the disrespect. So when he says that, or when, because right now on social media there's a lot of back and forth, there's a lot of name calling, there's a lot of derogatory terms used on both parties, you know. Is that the thing? Is that what is aggravating the situation?
That's what they said, because the National Assembly member that presented the bill himself, what he expressed to me on the day this bill was presented, we were there, Imam Fati was there, civil society members were there. And what he told me was the last time they tried to have a dialogue, they were insulted. And Imam was insulted. And that's why they presented the bill. Personally, I don't think their bill has any merit. I thought it was going to be... Or the reasoning behind it. I thought, lima don halat mo in it, bill bi dafa ñew, guy justifies in position in a way bo xamantene didn't make sense. But when I read it, it's a one-page bill.
And what does it say?
I feel like even my daughter would have done a better job of writing a bill than that.
And the bill states?
The bill states that because it's a religious and cultural issue and because of the terminology that's used, it's all of these arguments that I personally believe is baseless. How man understand? Luma don halat ne lolu moy neka si bill bi, nekut lolu la fa feka.
Okay, we know that now. On that note, we'll go with our first break. When we're back, more with Jaha.
You can now receive money anytime and anywhere in Gambia through MoneyGram for free. Simply dial *777# to register and access your MoneyGram at any AfriMoney agent. Free cash outs, $100 free for all MoneyGram transfers into AfriMoney. Cash out at any AfriMoney agent or AfriCell outlet.
Welcome back after that break. Big thank you to AfriCell Gambia Limited and Mina J and the beautiful and lovely Jaha. You know, it's been an intense conversation, and I feel like we are in those times where we definitely have to really, really face it head on and talk about it.
Absolutely.
You know, right, to wrap up that part of the show, having them saying that there's a lot of insult and that is what is triggering them or provoking them, what would be your response to that?
I mean, I think they have a point. I wouldn't take that away from them. You know, that would trigger anyone.
Yeah.
So you don't saga man suma yaay.
Yeah.
Or you don't saga suma papa.
Yeah.
Ina man nahari.
Yeah.
The man, everyone kuma ham how passionate I am about these issues.
Yeah.
Why jaralud mama saga can, especially ko hamantene magnama, even suma morom duma ko saga because dafa disagree ak man.
Yeah.
Waxatuma la ay kilifa.
Yeah.
So man lima ñaan suñ activist community bi, especially jigéen yoo xamantene they've gone through FGM.
Yeah, because it's triggering.
I know Nelly is triggering,
Yeah.
and I know how hard it is, and I feel your pain. But dama leen ko ñaan ngir Yàlla ñu bàyyi suñ xel ñu ñoo waxee ak community si. We don't want girls to end up being collateral damage because it's us against them.
Yeah.
In this country, there's no us against them. Ñun ñëpp Gambian lañ.
Yeah.
And we can get to where we want. But dañ si war a boole muñ, even suñ gisee lu ñu naxari nañ bës suñ xol yi ñu déglu ñu understand.
Thank you. Thank you. I think that definitely, because I've seen a lot of discord online, and I think regardless of what it is, it's always best to move with a clear mind than with emotion, because emotion can really put you in a situation that, you know, it's not favorable to the cause.
Fanta man munna am lu man hari, munna digo lu man hari. Man suma tour lañ nekk di o.
Wow.
Imam Party man la nekk di tudda, man ma Aïssatou Touré. Why man duma ko musa topa si lolu. How man understand man suma traité des sax suma yoon, because imam bu ma demee si National Assembly ma gis ko ma dem nuyu ko suka. Ñum àndaloon ñu doon ree.
Waaw.
Te bu ma génna si National Assembly bi, some of them hanga ñoom ñoo ñu ëppoon. They started talking to me. And they were worried. They were like, you know, some of these people are extreme. They might hurt you. But at the end of the day, man nit la, te ñoom tamit nit lañ. And I think if we deal with everything with a little bit of empathy, I think we would win more people over. I
think so. I think grace and empathy goes a long way.
Absolutely.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Well, I'm looking forward to, you know, when is the other sitting for
March
the hearing?
18th, and we need all of you. Gambia, especially when we go through FGM. Comme ñu ne ñun tubaab yi ñoo fekk te dañ nekk di fen. Yéen xam ngeen seen coono, xam ngeen seen métit. Génna leen, and you know, it's time for us to be united. So I'm begging everyone to please come out and let's raise our voices, but let's remember to do it in a very respectful way.
Yes. On the 18th,
18th
show
of
up,
March.
Let's support, let us make sure our voices are heard, because this is a fight for all of us.
Absolutely.
A fight for all of us. Moving on from that, you being, you know, there's so many things that you do, and when it comes to Safe Hands for Girls, I know it's FGM encompassed with early marriage and all that. Right now in Gambia, what would you say you've been doing since you've been back?
So, you know, Fanta, a lot of people don't realize this, but I'm not here for work.
Okay.
My father has been sick.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I want to be close to him.
Okay.
And I've been building a mosque, and the mosque just finished.
Yeah.
So I'm here for family reasons. This time around, I'm not here. I finished writing my book, and I decided to...
I'm excited about that. We'll get into that.
So I finished writing my book, and I have about less than a year off, where I don't necessarily have to do anything. I have my businesses that I'm still running.
Okay.
But the reason why I am in the Gambia right now is because of family.
Okay. And I see your children are around as well.
Yes, my kids are here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when it comes to Safe Hands for Girls and, you know, the early marriage, fight for early marriage, and what would you say has been your biggest, most accomplished task since you founded it?
So when it comes to, you know, Safe Hands for Girls, right? I think since the biggest task you ask.
Yes, that you've accomplished, that you feel like, you know what, this is a great win.
Girl, I don't think we've accomplished anything if we're having this conversation in 2024.
That is true, actually.
You can't call it a win if hundreds of people are coming out and saying that they don't believe in what you believe in. And I think as an activist, you have to own up to these things.
Yeah.
It's not always about you standing there in front of the world and telling them we did this, we did this, we did this. In the case of the Gambia, we haven't gotten it right yet.
Yeah.
So I can't call any of my past wins a win when this is happening in my own country.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what else is happening out there, but this is not a win. This is not what winning looks like.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That really is sad, because it kind of is like, this is such a big issue that everything else you've done is like, we're not there yet if we're still fighting this.
Exactly. And for me, I don't think, if we're still doing this, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, moving on to your work that you do abroad, you know, what would you say has been the journey like so far? Since you've really become a champion and a face for FGM, you've really sat on multiple platforms all over the world. What would you say has been the trajectory of that job over there, and what exactly does that entail?
I mean, so what I do outside of the Gambia is a lot.
Okay.
As you know, I work with L'Oreal as an international spokesperson, but not only that, I've also worked with companies like Gucci, and I have my agricultural business, and you know, where there's the carbon credits market. I was recently at COP28 in December, and you know, like all of the things that I do outside of this country sustain me financially.
Okay.
And for me, girls that come from where I come from don't make it as far as I have.
Yeah.
And I continue to push because of that reason. I think every day I wake up and I feel bad for my kids because I'm like, they didn't choose to have a mother like me. And the fact that I'm not always there when they need me, it's not a choice that they made, and they shouldn't have to suffer because of that. But at the same time, I think one of the things that I'm most proud of is the fact that my kids have always seen me work. They've never seen me dependent on anyone. They've never seen me ask anyone for anything. And I hope they grow up and take some of that and realize that it can help them. And I hope it, everything that I've become or everything that I do doesn't negatively impact them, because mental health, especially for those of us that come from Gambia, right? A lot of our traumas are from our parents.
Oh yeah, girl.
But we don't talk about it.
We don't.
So for me, it's about ensuring that I don't contribute to their trauma. But I love what I do. Even like my book deal, I had the most healing time, I think, writing that book. And now that I'm finished writing, the cover is out. We're going to be starting the promotional materials. And
I'm just happy that this is where all this is happening.
Exactly. I'm just, the cover page is out, all of these things that are really, really exciting to me. But Fanta has been an exciting journey. I come from Gambisara. None of my family members went to high school. No one in my family before me graduated high school. And I was the first person to not only graduate high school, but go on to university and then get a master's degree. And these are things that I'm very, very proud of, because
as you should be.
I lost my mother at the age of 14. And, less than 6 months later, I was shipped off to New York, where my marriage was arranged. And it could have gone anyway. But here I am today, doing all of the incredible things that I'm doing. And I've earned more money than both of my parents. The houses that I live in, my dad has never slept in houses like that. My mother has never slept in homes like that. The cars that I drive, none of my parents have had that.
Mashallah.
But it's a testament to who they raised me to be as well. Which is why a lot of times when people see me acting a fool on Snapchat, because that's where I am.
I was about to say, that's your outlet.
That's my outlet. Like, that's my anti-stress. I don't think people realize that not even 5% of my life makes it on the internet or what I do, and it's difficult for me to talk about what I actually do for a living. But because of the community that I have on Snapchat, I can just go there and not care about anything else.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that it gives me happiness. For me to have that outlet, and for me to have a group of people that I interact with that get it. There are people that don't get it, but I'm not there for them.
Yeah.
So all the things that people would say, how much, with everything that she has accomplished, lutah mui definitely, or lutah mui hanga.
Wow.
So I know that there's a lot of judgment.
It's serious. What you know, Snapchat.
Exactly.
Lutah mui definitely. Lutah mui andani. Lutah mui pateni.
Lutah mui andani. Lutah mui pateni. Lutah why man nitla.
Yeah.
How man understand, right? The most sohla. Like I'm human.
Yeah.
In my book, I wrote about this. I went from being a survivor to an activist, and I forgot to learn how to be human. So at this point in my life, I do what serves me. Absolutely. And not what people think I should be. How man understand?
Yeah.
So you can say a lot of times celebrities and other people, mental health issues, and they end up committing suicide is because of societal pressure.
Absolutely.
That's weighing heavy on them.
Yeah.
And with someone like me, I refuse to be boxed. How man understand?
Yeah.
So they yen dengen fag ne man lima ambiance ak suma hariti o luma ne kasi internet bi di post luma ne lolu affects my work or my ability to do what I do. Then kon yen dafa fekk ne hit na xamulen. How man understand?
Yeah.
Because man su time liggéey jotee ken gënu ma serious.
Yeah.
Why tamit luy dundal suma xol tamit dama ko def.
Absolutely. Nit rek la.
Exactly.
Nit ay garabam.
Exactly.
So, and I love that. You mentioned two things that I want us to touch on quickly before we go back to, the book.
Yeah.
You mentioned first you were married at 15.
Yes.
Married off at 15, shipped off. You lost your mom very early in your life. And you then were married off at 17.
Yes.
But then at what point, firstly, when you were married over 15 and you went, the things you went through, just briefly touch on that, at 17 as well. And when you actually got married to have your kids, was that a marriage of love? When did you have your kids? Was it the 17th, when you were 17 or after that?
So when I got married at 15 and I arrived in New York, I actually ran away.
Wow.
So, that was that. And then when I got married at 17, that's when I had my kids.
Wow.
And I was actually married to my cousin.
Okay.
So I was very strong-headed when I was young.
Okay.
I always got in trouble. I didn't dress up like the average Sarahule girl.
Yeah.
I was in the Bronx and everyone would cover with their ibadus and then I'm wearing jeans and I'm doing all of these things. And I think everyone in my family was very, very worried about me. And because of that, they wanted me to just be somewhere. Then
it's just like, let's just marry her off. Yeah.
And I think they actually begged my cousin to marry me. So
really?
Yes. So he's the father of my children.
Oh.
So, he's a good man. And but like you said, it was just, he's a great dad.
Okay.
But love being there for one. And because of that, I don't think it was fair to me. And I don't think it was fair to him.
Mashallah. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, as ugly as it may seem, some beautiful things came out of that. Because
exactly.
your kids are like, mashallah.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah.
Moving from that and then coming to being the face of L'Oreal,
Yeah.
being a UN woman, sitting with Penelope Cruz, Angelina Jolie, you have to understand, I'm really invested because for me, I'm in entertainment.
Yes.
This is what I see.
Yeah.
Seeing you get, like you said, the girl from Gambia, a small country, and a village in Gambisara, and you being the first out of your family to graduate high school, university, have a master's degree. All these are massive milestones to now being the face of L'Oreal and working with Gucci, sitting with women that are A-listers in the world. What has that journey been like? And what was that experience like for you?
I mean, Fanta, I have imposter syndrome. I'm not even going to sit here and lie. A lot of times I find myself in these rooms. Like I'm a part of a group called Nexus.
Okay.
And it's the coolest thing I've ever done in my life, I would say. It's the most amazing group of people that care about impact, and some of the wealthiest people in the world are part of our group.
Nice.
But being the face of L'Oreal, I had self-esteem issues growing up. I remember when I was young, my mother would always say that my eyes were too big, and people would make fun and say that I'm only light-skinned, but aside from that, I'm the ugliest out of my mother's children.
That's crazy.
So those things built my identity of who I am.
Yeah.
So even when I was older, I didn't see myself as pretty. So for me to have the biggest cosmetic brand in the world say that you're beautiful enough for you to be the face of our brand was something that shifted. So that's why I would always be grateful to L'Oreal, because I think what L'Oreal did for the inside Jaha and for that little girl that was stuck with those words in her head, they were able to tell me that I matter.
Yeah.
They were able to tell me that I'm worthy.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't have taken them for me to understand that. But so for me, it was even bigger than the money. The money was good. It's the reason why, like, L'Oreal was the biggest contract of my life, right?
Oh, wow.
So it was the reason why I'm able to be this person I am, take care of my kids, put them in one of the most expensive private schools in all of West Africa, and do everything that I do in the most authentic way. But it was so much bigger than the money itself. It was, and I do hope, I'm going to share this video with my L'Oreal people, because what they did for me is something that I would always be grateful for the rest of my life. And, with Gucci, I was doing a shoot with them recently. And, even with the Pirelli calendar that I did that with Whoopi Goldberg, Puffy, Naomi Campbell, and all of these people. And I come to set, and half of the time I realize, when I'm at Paris Fashion Week and I'm with all of these celebrities, and I'm like, I'm the girl from Gambisara.
Yep.
I'm the girl from the Gambia.
Yep.
And here I am, and these people see me as a peer.
Yep.
They don't see that I'm less of a celebrity or they think I'm a big deal.
Yeah.
I think it's only when I come to the Gambia that I realize that I'm nothing. I think like in all jokes aside,
yeah.
like when I come to this country, it's the only time, because like if I go to France, for instance, from the moment I step out of the plane, there's a security guard, there's people that are out there to like carry my bags. I don't do anything. People are opening doors for me. If like it's raining, someone is holding my umbrella. But then when I come to this Gambia, yung mahas di masaga di ba? Di ba yeka lo halat?
What they do?
What they do? So the money talk, bagay mo ta money ta mi malet de toy. Abe president halal pour mer lol because ham na ne dañu ne ki hamut bopam.
No, but it's just so crazy because I feel like Gambia will do that to you. Gambia will humble you. It doesn't matter how big you.
Hey, I love it.
And it's so crazy because, like, there are people that know you're a big deal. There are people that follow what you do. There are people that are impressed. There are people that look at you and look up to you. And then there are people that are like, and I think we don't even realize that when we trivialize someone and what they do, unless you're sure and secure in yourself, it might affect you because it's like,
it does.
What do you mean? Like, you're a big deal.
Because the kerok baki de minuma pour dok la de.
Yeah.
Why am na kena kuma wanne dafa am suma bena harit. Góor la te dama ko buga. Dafa dem wax kooku noonu ne Jaha dafa bari xaalis dafa dem dóor tubaab yi mu jël xaalis si ñoom mu ñëw Gambia fii di ko patee
lan
te kooku suma xarit la the reason why I'm bringing it up is because su dee kooku mu ngi koo wax am na ñu bari ñoo xamante ne loolu la ñoo xalaatee
absolutely
xaw ma na understand te ñoom xamuñ ne man su ma nekkutee Gambia li maa liggéey I consult for the World Bank te man suma consultancy day rate sañu maa toog fii nii pour wax ko because loolu dina tax nit yi xam man lu ma am ak lu ma ñàkk kenn du ko xam si man xaw ma na understand L'Oréal suma contract bi value am man xam naa ko at the end of the day right ok man UN bu ma nekk goodwill ambassador musuñ maa fay dërëm and I'm gonna say it in English su dee dañ foog ne dama fen vidéo bi fu leen neex ñu teg ko as a UN goodwill ambassador I do not get paid a penny. The interviews that I do not get paid a penny. All the things that you guys think is what gives me money is not what gives me money. Man pusuma halis de joge man hamna ko man hustler la. Raba kat la. Te rusuma si man domi sarahule la. How man understand?
Business rek ngeen am ak ut halis.
Te ñom luy problem bi luñ fail to realize mooy man every time people think ne am na luñ ma yaaxal dama dee folee foo xamante ne kenn yaakaaru ko.
That's great.
Because as an activist man kenn xalaatutoon ne dinaa nekk model. Especially at this age after having 3 kids. Suma doom yi mag ne ma fola si nekk international spokes for L'Oréal doing stuff with Gucci. Hanga people think about these things when they are young. And right now I'm thinking about being on TV.
But also, sorry but I love the fact that you're touching on that. And I know it's kind of like a dab to people for people that kind of doubt what you do.
Yes.
But for me, the lesson I'm seeing in it is that there's no age limit to what you can do.
Absolutely. There's a lot of ageism in this world.
There is, but there's no age limit.
Fanta sa wursak.
Yeah.
Yo, mun nga dem ben 90 years old.
Yeah.
Yàlla ñoo béetal la ak loo xamante ne musuloo koo yaakaar. Xaw ma na understand. Ba pare nit yi lu ñu war a understand tamit mooy ne doomi aadama xadar ak sa destiny dafa nekk loo xamante ne moo la jiitu.
Absolutely.
xaw ma na understand Jaha su bëggutoon na nekk sa fu mu toog nii yàlla moo bind ne Jaha nii la moo mel te kenn mënu si dara loo munti mun a def pour nga dilee ko sa luñ dee wax ne dañ la dee yiixal waaye xaw ma di nga
tardel waaye
tarde boobu noonu sax man góoma ko.
A delay is not denial.
xaw ma na understand man loolu sa góoma ko man anything loo xamante ne dafa ñëw into my life Fanta gis nga man dama gëm yàlla man mun naa toog 1 cent aw ma ko waaye billahi ni ma kontaanee ak su ma amee hundreds of millions right it's still the same man nañ lekka nañ feeca nañ ambiance.
man président xale.
président my president.
On that note, we'll go with our second break when we're back more with Jaha.
Send money to Gambia for free. You can now send money via MoneyGram to AfriMoney in Gambia anytime, anywhere. Simply go on to MoneyGram.com or the app and select Pay through AfriMoney to send. Make sure the receiver is registered on AfriMoney in Gambia or get them to dial *777# to register. Instantly, the money comes into their AfriMoney wallet. No hassle, no wait times, complete ease. Cash out at any AfriMoney agent or AfriCell outlets. Free cash out, no sending fees.
Welcome back after that break. Thank you very much to our sponsors for being a part of Sip and Chat, and the lovely Jaha Dukureh for sitting with us for this episode on Women's Day. I'm so grateful and thankful that you're in Gambia and they were able to come on set.
Yes, absolutely. I'm really excited about this.
Me too. I really am. You know, just you mentioned about the book.
Yes.
And I'm so excited to get into it because this is the first time we're hearing about the book. We've seen snippets of it online that you've talked about. But what is the book about? What inspired you to write the book? And I think this time you're ready to share the name with me?
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
So the book is called I Will Scream to the World, because usually when people see me in my activism, they think that I'm a screamer or Hamga, she's fierce, she's this. But like I talked about my interactions with Imam Fati,
right?
I never scream in activism. I don't insult. I rarely even disagree. When whatever you do, it's, you know, that's your opinion, right?
Yeah.
And because of that, I think, and I wrote the book when I had the worst depression in my life. I was coming out of a marriage. I married someone I deemed as the love of my life, and so when that marriage didn't work out, it was the first time I think I actually loved someone. So when that didn't work out, I was in the hole that I didn't know how I was going to get out of that hole.
Yeah.
And writing this book was the only thing that saved me. It was a healing journey for me. And in a lot of ways, I don't even think this is a gift to the world, but this is a gift to myself.
Wow.
And I don't know where I would have been if I didn't write this book. And as soon as I started writing it, you know, we sent it around, and immediately, you know, one of the biggest publishers came and said, you know, we'll offer you this amount of money for you to finish writing it. And hamga sarahu lebi te pare dama buga halis.
Nga dégg halis rek ne waaw.
Dama gis halis bi ma xamne, you know, the contract that I received was not only good, but the potential for this book. And I feel like, you know, when I'm going through stuff is when I write the most. So this book is the most authentic, honest, and it covers everything from my personal life to my parents, to my family, to my heartbreaks, you know, falling in love, losing that love, and my activism, the work that I've done with the Obama administration, the work that I've done with the UN, how I feel about, you know, the state of our world, and, you know, becoming a whole woman. So this is my journey, my truth. And for me, it was important because there's a lot of misconceptions about me.
Yeah. Especially
Especially in the Gambia, you know, Jahalum de def, Jahani, Jahanale.
Yeah.
So for me, it's important for people to know that my journey hasn't always been easy. A lot of people don't know much about me. Fanta man busuma ya ganwe, buma deme New York, ma dawsi suma sebi. Ma ngi won high school, dama AO7, madam school. Suma wache school 7, and suma wache school 3 p.m. Ma ngi dem liggéey Harlem si benn restaurant. Te yéenay 2 o'clock lay wacha. Suma wache 2 mun na fanan si trainee, because that's how tired and exhausted I get.
Wow.
There was a time in my life when I had nothing. Imagine, as a kid, sayay mungi de, you found yourself in a foreign country. Ken japale wudla. How man understand it? Man, I had to become an adult because gisuma won ken. So moo tax man mun nga ma gis dama ànd ak dof because xam naa man suma boppa fan laa jógee.
Yeah.
Ak ni ma yàlla ekkatee ak li ma yàlla defar yërmande bu yàlla amoon. Because when I was out there all alone, Fanta, comme am na yoo xamante ne nit du ko wax, it's best to leave it unsaid. But these are the things that I wrote about in my book. And even how I started Safe Hands for Girls. A lot of people might not understand why and what our journey has been like. But this book, I think, gives people an opportunity, both in the Gambia, in Africa, as well as outside of Africa, for them to understand the complexities that come with being me. My life is not easy. I'm a very complex person. But at the same time, I'm also a very, very fortunate person. Lena luma hamoine, man, I don't even see evil in people. That's one thing about me. Everyone says it. I think one of the things that my dad and my family worries about a lot when it comes to me is the fact that they think I'm so naive. Yeah. Even my mother, I remember when she was dying, you know, she told my sisters that she was worried that the world will take advantage of me because of my heart. Ever since I was young, man I don't see evil. Man mun nga ma togn sa 10 minutes later faté na lan nga ma def.
Wow.
So ma laajee sa lan nga jotee ak Jaha dama gaaw xol nag. Xaw ma na understand te man suma meree mun naa génn in the worst way.
Yeah.
waaye ni ma dee meree tamit noonu laa dee bàyyee xaw ma na understand.
Yeah.
So moo taxit comme ma bindal lii because I feel like the next generation, especially the young girls that look up to me, the people that are out there saying that when I grow up I want to be just like Jaha, I want them to get an honest view of what my life has been like. Balaa ñoo wan ne dañ bugg a mel ni moom at least dañ na suñ ko gisee nañoo ne
yeah, I'm not so sure. Yeah, but no.
yeah.
But I like that, you know, the book touches on who you are
Yes.
in depth. And when are we looking to get this book? When do you think it will be?
So I think around September, pre-sales will start because the official launch is not happening till later. But around, you know, because a lot of times when you write your own book, it's a different process than when you have a publisher like mine.
Okay.
My publishers are putting a lot of money behind my book. There's a lot of universities and a lot of entities and speaking engagements that come with that.
Absolutely.
So in a nutshell, like this book was written because I was going through a heartbreak. But at the same time, Tami, it's one thing lo xamantene xam naa ne suma nelaw sax mu ma liggéeyal xaalis.
Okay.
I want to understand.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
You know, you said, and one thing I know creatives always say, especially musicians, especially R&B singers, when they're hurt the most is when they write their biggest hits.
For me, yes.
You feel like that?
That was absolutely true.
Yeah.
If I wasn't going through what I was going through,
You probably wouldn't have.
Fanta, like when I'll send you the book, like I'll
Yeah.
send you the manuscript
Please.
on WhatsApp.
Okay.
You know, it's confidential, obviously.
Of course,
but
of course.
at least I think I wish I actually sent it to you for you to read before.
Before we
Yes,
had the
because that
show,
would have-
yeah,
that
you would have
would have
given me a
helped.
bit more.
Yes, but after you read it, you know, yow suma raka nga loo bëgga rek nay doon jaama soo bëggatee beneen
You defaat part two.
dinaa defaat.
Well, no problem. Parce que foog ma read book bi, we have to have a segment
I think
on the book.
I'll share the book with you.
Yes,
and
please,
then
thank you.
I think then we can do
We can do another a part two.
yeah, because then you will understand me. You will understand who I am and why certain things are the way they are. Even, you know, everything about me. Like even I covered even my Snapchat. Like
Did
the
you?
reason, yeah, I did. The reason why I do what I do because man, oh my God,
Yeah.
oh man, understand. Like my accounts are public,
Yeah.
so nothing I do is
It's hidden.
Anyone from, you know, Gucci, Lloyd, that's who I am. You
Yeah.
accept me that way,
Yeah.
or you part ways.
I respect that. That comes with a certain level of self-value and knowing oneself, and I love that. Speaking of love and heartbreak, we already know you love love. I love talking about love.
Yes.
What is going on with your love life? Because last I checked.
No, last you checked.
Okay,
Then
tell me. Okay.
Check last I checked.
Okay.
Fanta, there's one thing about me, right?
Okay.
Everything I have is a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
How am I not understanding? Because sometimes I have to think about more than me
Yeah.
and what I want
Yeah.
and how I want to live my life. There's a lot of factors that I have to consider that maybe doesn't reflect on the average person.
Yeah.
I'm gonna understand. And because of, you know, how busy my life is, there's little opportunity for love. Because my priority right now is my children. I mean, I do love, you know, but right now that's not my focus.
That is not your focus. What was the heartbreak that inspired the book?
It was my ex-husband, the Gambian. I was married to a Gambian.
You said that was when you thought you were in love, or you felt that was the first time you were in love.
Yes.
Walk me
I
through that.
genuinely feel, you know, to this day that was the only time in my life that I actually loved someone.
Why?
I was married off very young. I didn't
Yeah.
have time to have a boyfriend and, you know, all of those things.
Yeah.
You know, like
Being a coach here.
exactly.
You know.
like after middle school, them are door great. Then like madam America, must say. Then after I'm small dormy, and you know, I was married to their dad for 12 years. I don't think a lot of people realize that.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you were married to the kid's dad for 12 years.
I was married to their dad for 12 years.
You did a bit in that marriage.
I did. I did. It was you know, and then when I got married to this person, I thought that was going to be it. And then when that didn't happen, it was just...
What happened? Because you seemed very in love, very happy, and you were screaming about
Oh
that,
my
that
God,
love
yes.
and that marriage at the top of your lungs. And I thought you guys too. You were screaming about that man. Up and down, you know, and you looked good together. Chat sama
Because you experience something that you have never experienced in your life, right? And you know, it was complex because being that, you know, I'm somewhat of a public figure in the Gambia, and
Not
people,
somewhat, you are.
It's so people know who I am, and you know, him too. I guess people knew who he, because there was a lot of, you know, wahbusel, not necessarily from us as a couple, but it was just a lot of outside factors that really contributed to what ended up ending our marriage. And you know, at the end of the day, for me, it was difficult, and I would never deny that. And I wonder, what could I have done differently? What could we have done differently? And I know that as hurt as I think I am, I also understand that he might also feel hurt. But I can only speak on my hurt, right? I cannot speak on what he experienced or how he felt, what made him take the decisions that he did. But it still doesn't take away from the fact that divorce, especially in that situation, wasn't what I wanted.
You really were in love.
I was, yeah.
No, you really were in love with that man.
Yes. Yes.
Is there a way that, let's say now...
No.
Wow.
Okay.
She didn't even let me finish.
No.
Damn. Did it end that badly?
It ended really badly. It ended... I'm going to all of the what tasiyakare.
Oh.
The man, it wasn't just me. It was my family. It was my children. Like, you talk about me being in love. My kids loved him.
Oh.
They really, really, really loved him. And especially my daughter had such an amazing relationship with him. Like, you know, recently I would sit and get these flashbacks of Snapchat memories, and, you know, see how he would read to her. And when we were on the campaign trail during the political campaign, you know, him being there for me, or sleeping in the car some days, or sleeping in some of the most uncomfortable places. So for me, regardless of what people on the outside would think, you know, there was a lot of problems in that marriage, but you cannot tell me that was in a man that cared about me and my family. And hunger. So, but then you also realize that you can love someone as much as you love them, but they are not meant for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna understand.
Yeah.
So I think in this situation, I'm at peace with the fact that, yes, I loved this individual, probably more than I loved myself, which is why it caused me the amount of pain that it did. But am I willing to go back to that? No.
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 What was the last straw that broke the camel's back? Because you're giving me the vibe of, I would have done everything I could to stay in that marriage because I felt like, I don't know. What was it that you felt like, this was it? I'm not.
It wasn't me.
Oh, so the divorce came from...
I was actually blindsided.
Really?
So I left the Gambia after the political campaign when Halifa Saleh lost the presidential elections.
Yeah.
And I went back to the US. It's not that I was fighting with this person. It's not that we were arguing. I woke up one day and someone gave me a call and said that your husband said you and him agreed to end your marriage.
What?
And I'm like, but I spoke with him this morning. And Fanta, I didn't know how to process that. I could not, for the life of me, to this day, tell you ne Fanta limota sumasebi. Munumalakowa.
What?
Jote wuñ. After bu sey bi tassé, fitnal nako lolu degala.
Wow.
Man dama bari fitna.
Wow.
Xawma na honest bu sey bi tassé.
Yeah.
Fitnal nako. Way bala sey bi di tas. Du ma mom jotéré. Du ne dafa am luñ xéccio motax ñu tas. Du ne dafa am lu xew. It just happened. And because I'm the kind of person I am, mentally I couldn't process. Ne, it was that easy for you to walk away from me. Knowing ne, man, I was willing to lay my life for you. Knowing ne, I was willing to do everything. It doesn't matter what the world thought of you. I didn't see that person. Like, I was in love with you. Not only you, I loved your family. How when I lost my mother. When I got married to you, your mother became my mother.
Yeah.
And for you to be capable of just taking that away from me. How when understand
like
without
that.
thinking about these kids that love you. How you
That's crazy, actually.
Yeah.
You definitely were blindsided because
Yes.
imagine leaving home, everything felt fine, and then just waking up and saying, "Oh well, apparently."
I mean, I don't even think like I would have like the reason why I'm so willing to talk about this is because this would already be out there, right?
Yeah.
So, like I told you, I chose to be very open and honest in my book. The day before my 32nd birthday, my husband said he was leaving to the UK to pack up things and come back. After 2 weeks, maybe. He didn't come back after those 2 weeks. So when we lost the presidential elections, I went back to the US. And that's when this happened. It was around January. And before, I think he told me that he wanted a divorce, a family member of him accidentally called me and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry about the divorce." And I'm like, "What divorce?" And then I called him. I'm like, "Are you planning on divorcing me?" And he denied it. So then when I found out that this was actually what he wanted, Fanta, I think like the reaction, like now I regret how I reacted in the situation, but it was because of...
Your emotions were raw. That's
Yes.
how you felt.
And like, I just wanted him to feel how he made me feel. So, and I'm a fighter.
Yeah.
Like not physically. Why man so man tonye. Come man how man buy na la ya.
Yeah, like, okay.
How man na understand man melu bonudu.
Def nga ma ko. Man tam na
Wow.
Yeah.
Man lolu moy suma chat.
Yeah.
Man how man nit ne buy na la. Comme dañ ma togn, dama bëgg yobé nga yek.
Nga yeg luma yeg.
So eventually dina tok ma réccu man luma def.
Oh.
Comme man non la mel. So with him, for instance, like there were certain times when I reacted, said some things or did some things. Like I would always go back to him and be like, "Yo, I'm really sorry that I did this."
Yeah.
And I know how fucked up it is.
Yes.
Even though I never received that apology from him.
Really?
And it could be that Mom, he doesn't feel like he did anything to
wrong.
me. How am I understand? But yeah.
That is crazy. That would happen like that would have played out like that. What did that do for you mentally? Because we talk about mental health, and I know that with everything that you've gone through, there must be a ton of experiences that you've gone through. Have you ever tried therapy?
Oh God,
what was that? What did that do for you?
Therapy, medication. I've been on, for the last, I would say 1 year maybe, I haven't been on meds. But before that, I've been on, anxiety and depression medications most of my life. You have to realize that losing your mother alone is traumatic.
Yep.
Going from that, finding yourself in a foreign country with a man that is twice your age, you don't know this person, and you're expected to be his wife. That's also trauma in itself.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the experiences that I had in New York that were not so good contributed a lot. So from that age, I was not only on suicide watch, I actually attempted suicide when I was 16. And I ended up in a hospital for 2 weeks. So from that point in my life, I've always been on either therapy or meds. And mental health is something that we don't talk about. And a lot of times in a community like the Gambia, if you have mental health issues, mineki dofla dafa amrap, dafa need,
Dafa real.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Dafa dof.
a lot of times people don't realize that the emotional battles that we go through, and sometimes we fight with ourselves.
Yeah.
And the way we process information, the way we process emotions and feelings, right? A lot of times, they don't understand how complex this is, because even doctors cannot technically tell you why you are having anxiety, why you are depressed. They don't try to put something that would lower whatever it is that you're feeling, but they don't have any explanation for these things, right? So for me, after my divorce, I was in and out of hospitals. Like I was admitted several times.
Was it this divorce? This last one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So I was in and out of hospitals. Mm-hmm. And then that's when, a friend of mine, she's an agent. And she was like, "Jaha, let me become your agent and you start writing." Because I lost so much weight.
Wow.
And then maa ngi dem lopitaan. I had all these unexplainable. Dama dee toog rek suma xol bi mooy métti.
Heartbreak dafa métti de.
Joy. Suma kanam bi ñëwi. Like literally, I had all of these things that I was like experiencing, and then like today, I'm actually really proud of the person I am.
Mashallah.
The fact that I'm able to talk about these things without crying.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm able to talk about these things without even being sentimental about them, because the last time you and I cried.
Yes, you did.
Exactly. So while legi, I realized that I'm healed. Like I might not be entirely healed.
Yeah, but you're on that journey.
I'm on that journey because I can actually look at it and be like, oh shit, I'm here and I'm okay. And I'm comfortable with who I am. I'm happy with the person I am. And I know that I'm enough.
Yeah.
If I wasn't enough for him, I know that I am more than enough. I am beautiful.
Absolutely.
I am smart.
Absolutely.
Te xam naa ne du musa am jigéen bu ma gën.
Achum.
Loolu man leer na ma. Xaw ma leneen de waaye loolu leer na ma. So, yeah, mental health is and I urge people that are watching, right? You know, your emotions are real.
Yep.
Your feelings are real.
Yep.
And get help. Don't ever be embarrassed. Don't ever be ashamed. Bul musa then people will judge you because you have mental health issues. Man, I have my own mental health issues. Like I said, man jël naa garab, dama dee dem lopitaan, and I still do. If I feel like I'm going off, I owe it to myself and my beautiful children to get the help that I need. It has made my insurance skyrocket.
Yep.
But at least I'm here and able to work and able to earn. And if I did not take care of my mental health, I wouldn't be here. So don't allow anyone pour mu def la nga foog ne da nga dof or da nga réew or li problème tubaab la, because ñun dañ teel a wax nit ne ñun fii nii or da nga am seytaane da nga am rab.
Oh yeah.
Because da nga gis di nit su fitam di dem luñ la dee njëkk a wax mooy ne xëj na rab la, dañ la liggéey, dañ la def lii. Te loolu nekkul ne mënumaa wéedi nit yi seen personal belief, but mental health issues should be taken seriously. Du affaire yi rab, du affaire yi jinne, du affaire yi shaitan. You know, we see a lot as human beings.
We do. And
there's a lot of things that affect us. Nekkuñ yàlla, nit kese lañ. So jaamu yàlla bokk na si, but the biggest priority is yow sa boppa mënuloo faj sa boppa. Foog nga dem ñu faj la, because yàlla du wàcca jox la dara. How man understand it? So maa ngi ñaan nit yi, as someone, like I said, that has suffered from anxiety and depression most of my life, you know, I know what it feels like. I know how it is to live with these conditions.
And I'm so thankful that you decided to share that, because there's a lot of people that are suffering from multiple things, you know, from anxiety, from depression, from even dementia, so many types of things that people are struggling with that they cannot verbalize or that they're afraid to talk about, because I don't want somebody to feel, why are you always anxious? Why are you always anxious? You know, what's wrong with you? Or calm down. They have social anxiety. They cannot speak. They have different things that people go through, but they're afraid of opening up. And I'm so thankful and glad that you, with everything that you've gone through, are championing it and saying it's okay. I've been through the worst and here I am.
Exactly.
You know, from your childhood to everything you've gone through, from being married off early, from FGM, from being married again at 17 and having your beautiful kids, but still going through that, from heartbreak, your first ever love experience, and for it to end the way it did, for you to, out of that pain, to have a book that's coming out. You are the epitome of strength. It really is. And sometimes when you go through things and you brush past them and you're in a certain position in life, you don't really take it all in to realize, like I've been through so much.
Exactly.
I've gone through all of this and I've conquered everyone. You know, I've conquered all of that and I'm here. And you're still fighting. And I just want to say that I commend you on that. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
We definitely will have a part 2, because there's a lot more.
Once she reads the book.
Yes, once I read the book, definitely.
Because I want Fanta to read, I want you to know me. For nga mun ma interview or even do a review of the book.
I think. I think that's what we'll do. I think we'll do a review and talk about it.
Yes.
And have a chat about it.
I'll send book. I'll send
Please,
it to you.
because I would really love to like immerse myself in it.
No, I'll send you a copy of it today.
I would love that.
Yeah.
We'll go with our final break when we're back. Never have I ever. Welcome back after the break, and this is the final segment of the show, the Never Have I Ever. Never have I ever segment. Are you ready, Jaha?
No, but let's go.
First question, never have I ever been with a celebrity? You have? Oh, I haven't. I've never been with a celeb. Who's the celeb?
Girl, I'm not telling you that. I'm not putting, no.
Okay.
You think the mic is empty or whatever, like you think I'm slow like that? Girl, I'm not doing that.
Okay. What was an athlete, a musician, an actor?
An athlete.
Oh, basketball?
Yes.
Did you go to a game?
Well, you follow me on Snap, so obviously
You went to the
yes, you know that I go to the games.
Who? What team?
Girl, no.
There's a lot of them.
It's very it's the moment, the fact that I've mentioned like athlete, like people will start, and I don't.
Adding 1 + 1.
Yes.
Are you gonna marry him?
No.
Okay. Never have I ever been with a married man.
Fanta Yotami.
I know. And you growl like that.
No, Jenny.
Never have I ever been with a married man.
In Fanta Tami.
President Hale. President Hale, what you? Ambiance. I like how you're going at me. Who is this person?
Hey, Fanta.
Is he like, like a...
Fanta, gis nga sa never have I ever here. But in your tag, Fanta, next.
Never have I ever cheated. Oh.
No, go mo boko sma affair.
Yeah, I've never cheated either.
Yeah.
I hate cheating.
Mo boko sma affair.
Never have I ever gone skinny dipping with someone.
Bobu tami boko sma affair.
Really?
Ñeme ñu man dox. Dama bëggoon dox waaye ñeme ñu man dox.
Oh, I've never. Queen skinny dip.
Yeah, I've never.
Have you ever skinny
I think
dipped?
I would do it though.
Okay.
But I haven't yet. But I feel like I'm the type of person that would actually.
I absolutely would do.
Yeah, I
absolutely
think
would
I'm the
skinny
type
dip.
of person that would actually go skinny dipping. But the issue is when water is cold.
Yeah.
But I think I would. Yes.
Yeah, I know
I
for a
would.
fact I would absolutely go skinny
Yes,
dipping
I
for
would.
sure.
I think I would. I haven't done it yet, but it's something that I know just based on my personality. I would.
Okay. Never have I ever lied to get a job.
Wait.
Somebody taught me something. I say, Fanta, if people look at you and want to give you an opportunity to do something, say yes and then learn about it later.
Man, that's been my motto. All
Yeah,
my life.
absolutely.
Like, I'm the type of person, like, half of the things that I do for a living, I had no idea how to do any of that. But when you come and you present an opportunity, I would either make sure I hire the right team to do the job, but I would never turn down an opportunity. That's not who I am.
Yeah, I've learned that too.
Yeah,
I like that.
Alaji Manka is one of the Manka, like I would take these big opportunities or contract and then I'll come and don't be panic.
Why?
And we'll figure it
I
out.
like that though.
Yes.
That's what I do too. I like that.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it.
Exactly. I'd not be known because at the end of the day you have to realize Kenjudo would akamham.
Yep.
Everything we learn, and if you're committed,
You will learn.
whatever you put your mind to,
You'll master it.
exactly. Like
That
when
is
I
true.
started driving, for instance, right? I didn't have a car, and then I was hired at Wells Fargo, and they wanted me to go to training somewhere far, and I knew that I needed a car. I had Tegi Susu, $3,000. I bought a 1997 Honda Accord, and I started driving. So to this day, I don't know how to park. Like parallel park, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to park in reverse.
Yes.
It's because no one actually taught me
you how to drive. You just got in the car and drove.
Exactly.
President Hale, I'm fit.
Wow,
Final one. Never have I ever argued with another girl over a boy.
Not argue per se. I have actually not argued per
Wait,
se.
definitely. Shoulder.
Well, not argue per se.
I like how you just sat down. Okay, tell me.
It's not argue per se.
Oh, I've never.
But no. Man, Fanta, I don't like nit mu togn ma. How man understand?
Yeah.
Man buguma nit ku ma togn.
Yeah.
because man dama dee moytu suma aha ak nit yi man dama gaaw xool dëgg la waaye bëgguma nit ku ma tooñ.
Yeah.
There's been moments in my life when am na ñoo xamante ne tooñ nañ ma. Xaw ma na understand. Because léegi man su ma demee ma sëy ak nit. Kooku mu diggoon leen yéen def leen a takka. Xaw ma na understand. Takkut leen.
Waaw.
Man ma dugga si sëy boobu noonu. Ngeen ne man duma fa am jaama.
Was that what happened?
Bokk na si li xewoon.
Really?
Ngeen ne man duma fa am jaama. Te fekk yàlla xam na ne. Man yëgu ma woon ne. Non billaahi wallaahi tallaahi de waat naa si yàlla. Ak suma doom yi ak li ma am yëpp. Ne man xaw ma woon digganteem ak ñooñu.
Yow daal da nga ñëw rek ñu ne
man dama ñëw rek man dama bëggoon a sëy te dama noboon. waaye pour ne man dama xamoon ne.
keneen ak keneen ak fa woon
billaahi xaw ma ko woon. so pour ngeen di ma fenal. di dem si suma jëkkër. di ko wax ne nii laa mel lii ngeen dégg si man lii ngeen dégg si man xaw ma na understand. just because da ngeen nopp kooku noonu. xaw ma na understand te loolu dafa nekkal loo xamante ne nekkul na ma necessarily xuloo ak ñoom waaye loo xamante ne daf ma naxari te am na ñu bari ñu ma si tongoo ngir loolu.
so loo def da ngeen defante.
defante wu ma ak ñoom de man nag dama nekk nit koo xamante ne comme for instance let me give you a good example right. bés bu ñu ma doon takka Gambia. dama toog si suma snap bi dafa am benn statement boo xamante ne dama mus a dégg benn sénégalais bu ko pose su kee na actress bi moo ko pose. ne suma jëkkër doful dina jàpp ko man la bëgga man suma bési takka bi loolu dama ko wax man maa ko snap ma pose ko. so bu ma ko snappee ma pose ko man fekk sax man xalaatuma lu nekkoon di xew. dëkk bi ñu jël loolu noonu ne man jànxaam yi laa doon. gaaruwaale te fekk man loolu dama ko dégg fee na. nga jël ko jàppa ko ba nga sëy ba ma sëy ma wax ko. so man fekk lu doon xew yëpp si internet bi man yëguma ko.
yeah I feel you.
waaye ñoom ñëpp jël loolu noonu. ne Jaha Dukureh daf doon gaaruwaale te Fanta billaahi yàlla xam na ne. man yëguma woon lu xew. so yaa ngi understand so to me right xale jigéen ñu involve on si situation boobu noonu luñ fail to realize mooy ne kii dama ko doon seyal si sunna ak farata te dama ko bëggoon. and for everything that I went through in my life that was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. And they took that away from me. The day that I married the love of my life. nga eewu si ëllëg si gis li doon xew. That's an experience that I would never forget. Yes moom lim def na ko. waaye ñoom it nuñ ko playé out. No one deserves that, not on your wedding day. amul benn doomi aadama boo xamante ne mérité na lu mel noonu.
What did they do on your wedding day?
It was all over online, people claiming that they were with him.
So on the day of your wedding, you had girls coming from the woodwork saying, "Oh, but I was dating him." Or
he promised to marry me. He said he was going to marry me. He said this, man maa ngi nekkoon na moom 3 years maa ngi nekkoon na moom xam nga ñëwoon na suñ kër wax na ak suma parents yi and all of these things. And I had no idea. If I knew that this guy was engaged to another woman, why would I marry him?
You were in the dark like everyone else, clearly.
Exactly.
You just were married to him.
Like for me, how ma ban dof lañ foog ne or how desperate they think I am. Pour man ma xam ne kii am na jànha or am na ay jigéen. Pour man ma ñëw not only ma dugal suma boppa si situation bu mel noonu. ba pare ma sëy si knowing ne man dama am ay doom.
Yeah, you had a lot more to lose and a lot
more.
How
man understand? Yeah. Like mom, what did he have to lose compared to man?
Yeah.
What I had to lose.
Yeah.
Degala, he was young.
Yeah.
How man understand?
Yeah.
And he was like, all of these things were happening for him. And this is Gambia. How man understand? But at the same time, man, what did I gain?
Heartbreak, depression.
Exactly. Lan laa si jëlee. Pour ñoom ñu war a toog everyone xam nga Fanta, it was man awma dunuma jaama si sëy boobu noonu. It was supposed to be the best moment of my life, or it wasn't that.
I'm really sorry. Yeah. That will drive anybody into depression.
Honestly. Exactly.
But on that note, that was the last of the Never Have I Ever question. Thank you for sharing. Hale President, hana nga buga nekk President ni Gambia bala ñoo jeexal ciobi.
Gambians yi nag hanga yeen loo leen 72% of you are under the age of 35. te gis ngeen dëkk bi nu mu nekk di demee duma oo benn tour nag duma waxal benn politician lu ñaaw. but at the same time even man su ma nekkutee président Gambia dafa war a nekk at a place boo xamante ne war nañoo teg koo xamante ne mun naa yóbbu suñu réew bi war nañoo teg koo xamante ne jàng na xam na how everything works from our finances to the things that are affecting us. Gambia fii da ngaa gis family yoo xamante ne suñ añee duñ dee mën a reer. Why? Because amuñ ko. Price yi sukur dem na ba more than $3,000. Price yi maalo.
weeri koor baa ngee ñëw
and marché bi yéen ñëpp xam ngeen daan moo fa nekka. So at the end of the day dëgg la man jigéen la and there's a huge possibility ne Gambia pareeguñ pour teg jigéen as president xëy na man du ma dunda sax bu loolu di am. So a lot of times man su ma waxee affaire yi président nekku ne loo xamante ne dama ko fulal. waaye ñun war nañoo bugga suñ boppa enough pour ñu do what's right for us. Pour man moom ngeen gis ma may election xanaa présidence bi su ñëwee su ma néeg waaw loolu moom bañu su ñëwee bu fekka ma fii dinaa waaw waaye pour ne man ma dem taxaw ne man damaa taxaw élection bi ma saaga di ma buddi dama dee teel a jooy Fanta doo ma gisee ni jooy rek laa mun man doo ma saagee rek ma jooy.
Thank you so much. Just to wrap it up, one last thing I would ask you. What has been the craziest rumor you've heard about yourself?
I think maybe that I'm lesbian.
What? Okay. Well, on that note.
I am not lesbian. I love men. Like, I do. Like, I love men.
That is so crazy. But on that note, we would end this segment of Never Have I Ever and also Sip and Chat. Thank you so much for coming to this episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Fanta, I just want to say thank you to you and your staff. You guys are amazing.
Thank you.
You're all incredible young people in this country. And you yourself, I don't think you see yourself through the eyes that we see you when we look at you. You're one of the most positive young people in this country.
Thank you.
You know, you're not someone ko xamantene dinga dégg sa lu negative about you because ñëpp xam nañ ne sa xol dafa baax sa xol dafa set.
Thank you.
Te liggéey boo nekk di def because ñun ñëpp nga nekk di dimbale. So taxee nit yi ñu understand suñ taxawaay si society and why we do what we do. Dafa indi conversation boo xamantene is necessary. Fii kenn mutul. So si interview bi sa xëy na su dee am na dara lu ma wax lu tooñ nit yi maa ngi jégalu because that was not my intention. Everything that we do is for our country and for you guys to know us more. Why maa ngi wax Fanta jërëjëf because for your persistence and for your incredible team and for being patient with me.
Thank you.
Because neexuma jot.
Neexuta jot moom.
Neexuma jot.
But you know what? I'm a very determined girl.
You are. And I love that. I hope that someday you and I can, find ways to work together and collaborate and do things. But I'm really grateful that we did this today. Me
too. Thank you so very much for giving me the time because I know right now you've been pausing your meeting for this episode and I'm so grateful. Thank you. It's been a headache to get you, but you know what? When I want something,
she gets it.
I do. I do. And I wanted Jaha on the show and I knew I had to get her. So thank you so very much for coming on the show, for being vulnerable, for sharing your story, for not holding anything back. And I wish you the absolute best. And I look forward to the time where we work together, where we collaborate, where we would sit on places where we would really champion Gambia as well and Gambian women.
Absolutely.
Definitely proud of you and I'm so happy and grateful. Thank you so very much. From this part, peace, love, and cha-ching, cha-ching. Bye-bye.